to the channel. KG is back for a match preview of the game we've been dreading. I would say collectively been dreading, but yeah, you have to play everyone twice. Big Sam's first game in charge of Leeds United at Manchester City. It's going to be a tough one, people. It's going to be a tough one. As before I go on, as you know the drill, people, please hit a like on the video. Best way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and of course, drop your comments below. Big thanks to Mr. P and Job Abbott for their super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And Edward Walker, who's a new member of the channel. Much appreciated to you, Edward. Memberships are in the description if you want to support the channel that way. Yeah, Lewis, Big Sam was talking his stuff. Yeah, it was a all right conference, wasn't it? And it was nice to hear Big Sam talk about. You could see in his face that he knows that there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done on this team in general. And he kind of alluded to that when he was asked if he would stay here longer term. He said, if I did, we'd have to start straight away in the summer. And that is music to my ears. There's a one thing that wasn't music to my ears, which was Bamford being key. But I think he means for the rest of the season. So I'm going to let him off. Joe Shaw saying, whatever happens, surely these players learn something working with a Big Sam defensive system. It must help in that sense. Well, if it doesn't help him, Joe, it kind of goes to what I've been saying about these players being the common denominator since Bielsa to now, being the ones that just can't do it, whether it's instructions under Bielsa, Marsh's system that just wasn't getting through to him. Skubala couldn't even do it for him. Gracia, we all know how that ended. So I think the common denominator is the players, and I think Big Sam knows that he's got a big job on his hands. Steve the Searcher saying, I was so happy to see the back of Javi. Nonto and Somerville had a party last night. Just going to quickly touch on Javi Gracia's exit comments because he did talk to the Athletics. So if you want to see the full comments, go on the Athletics website or their app, and you'll see them. But I just wanted to pick up on a couple of things, which I'll talk about now. Let me just say, yeah, I mean, he was sacked on his birthday, and I know that's been an issue for a few people. Guys, it's business. Doesn't matter if it's your birthday or the next day. You have to look after Leeds United first. And if we had waited another day, it would have meant Big Sam was in for one day less. We need all the time we can get. It's unlucky on your birthday, but you know what? You're getting a nice payout. You're already back in Spain. I'm sure you're all right, Mr. Gracia. Something that was of interest to me was he said not to focus on what happened at halftime, but of the goal being conceded before halftime in the Palace game. Now, for me, if there was nothing that happened at halftime, which I don't really believe that, then that's even more worrying, that just a simple goal being conceded before halftime in a home game after you've won the previous game. That would be a bit more worrying to me. So I would have preferred it if he said whatever happened at halftime will stay in that dressing room at halftime, rather than think about the goal being conceded before. Because again, that just tells me that up there they just don't have it. They just don't have it up there if they're going to collapse off the strength of conceding a equalizing goal. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Deshaun. Business as usual. Clubs come first every time. Every time. Philip here saying, with his mad comment about Sam being better than Pep and Klopp, he didn't say that. He said that he's got as much experience. He says that, you know, he knows as much about football as those guys. But obviously the way it was framed, if you haven't heard the comments, it kind of sounds like he's saying that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, which he wasn't saying that. But he just meant in terms of football knowledge, they don't have more than him. It's just that he'll never get that opportunity to manage at that level. So he knows where he is now. It's at firefighting jobs like he's doing now at Leeds United. So yeah, but I know what you're saying. When you see the headline, it does look a bit mad. But back to Gracia, you know, again, talking about their mental strength, he was talking about there's a psychological aspect. A player can enter subconsciously into the vicious circle from which they cannot escape. And we did not have the moment that went our way in the fine margins in the last minute against Leicester, with Bamford missing his chance wide, Mark Rucker coming close to scoring the winner. Again, it tells you everything. I mean, Jesse said it, didn't he? Jesse said it this season. What did he say? They're afraid. They're scared. They are. Richard, you know what's funny? I said this. When I said that Robbie Keane was coming in, I said, wow, he could finish better than Bamford any day of the week. You know, if he's still in decent nick, let's put him up there. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. But, you know, it goes back to that mentality thing again, doesn't it? And Big Sam did say that there is already a sports psychologist there, which is very worrying, which either means that that sports psychologist isn't really good or that the players aren't utilizing whoever that person is. Because you can't force people to go to therapy. No one can ever be forced to do that. But you would hope or suggest, hey, don't you think you should go and speak to the sports psychologist? Just go and see if you can iron out any problems that you may have here. You know what I mean? But hey, is what it is. And then just the last one from Gracia, because there was more, but I don't want to, harp on. Gracia is the past now. We need to focus on the next 4 games. But, we was all wondering about Meslier. Will he ever get dropped? Going from Gracia's comments, it didn't even cross his mind. Didn't even cross his mind that to drop Meslier. Didn't cross his mind once. And we've already heard from Big Sam already, which we'll get into in a bit, that he's already speaking to Meslier about if he's going to play. But under Gracia, he said that he had confidence in all 3 goalkeepers, but dropping Meslier wouldn't have solved anything. How he had a good game against Leicester, but then, you see what happened against Bournemouth. So it just shows you really and truly that Gracia, yeah, I mean, what? Nah. Good luck to you, Javi Gracia, in your future endeavors. One of them. Let's move on. Caspadinho saying, do you believe Sam is saying all that stuff to take off pressures? 100%. He knows what he's doing. He's an experienced guy. The guy has been in the game a long time. Long time. He knows what he's doing. He's basically saying, come and look at me. Look at me for a second. I'm telling you everything. I'm giving you he even said, I'm giving you your headlines. I'm giving you your headlines. So he's 100% taking some of the pressure off the players. Look at me, Big Sam. Come and focus on me for a bit. Dilip is saying, I don't think he will drop Meslier in a very big game against City. I hear what you're saying, Dilip, but even the fact that it's a consideration, he could have even said, no, he's our number 1 goalkeeper. We're sticking by him. But, the fact that he's even having to talk to Meslier about it is a positive sign for me, because you can't keep on doing what he's done. Big Sam has mentioned it before he got the job, by the way, on his own podcast and when he's talked to TalkSport, just about the way that the side leak easy goals. It's easy to score against Leeds United. I mean, it's embarrassingly easy, isn't it? And the fact that he's even considering it, he's going over goals conceded, that's positive for me. And if he sticks by him, all good. But, we don't know what he's going to set up. We don't know if he's going to play 2 up front. He's mentioned Bamford. If Bamford starts, do we get a second striker next to Bamford? That will be interesting to see. Will he use Rodrigo next to him? I hope so. Will he even use Rutter? Could he use Rutter against him? That would be with him. I mean, just playing off Bamford. That would be interesting. We talk about, there was something about, people saying about Rutter, not having a good goal record before he come to Leeds, and that is definitely true. But it's an extreme example. But you look at Newcastle with Isaac. They bought him quite low because he only scored 6 goals for Sociedad last season, and he's come into the Prem. He's got like 15 goals in 22 games or something like that. He's absolutely ripping it up. You just don't know how different players will adapt to different leagues. But until Rutter gets an extended run, we don't know, do we? So we'll see if he's utilized. Let's see if JB's utilized a bit more. That would be nice to see. Yeah, Leaky Leeds. Leaky Leeds. Oliver here saying 2.5 million bonus on the line. Big Sam's going to be ruthless. I think he's already kind of been ruthless already, Oliver, with the comment of, if I'm to stay, then we need to recruit straight away. I don't think he will stay, by the way. I don't think he will. I think we'll be looking more long term. Just like with under Javi Gracia, we heard flexible contract. It was a 3-month deal. So it literally was a deal to the end of the season, and we see how you get on. So I think it's going to be one of those that if he does keep us up, that we go with a longer term manager come the summer. But even he knows after a couple of training sessions, and people were saying he sounded out of breath at the press conference. He was probably in disbelief of just how bad the training session went. Like, is there one Premier League player here? But I'm joking. But he definitely knows that this squad needs ripping up, and I like that. C Stone saying I didn't rate Isaac or whoops. That's what I'm saying, C Stone. That's why I always say you just never know with transfers. They're all risks. Isaac scoring 6 goals for Sociedad last season. You're probably thinking, well, what's he going to do in the Prem? I mean, there was even question marks with Haaland, wasn't there? Who we're going to talk about today? But he's scoring goals in the Bundesliga. Yeah, he gets it done in the Champions League. But what about the rigors of the Prem? record breaker. That's what about the rigors of the Prem. You just don't know how someone's going to act. And then you've got like West Ham fans who thought they were getting something proven in Danny Ings, you know, your Prem proven stuff that you guys love. They wish that they never bought him. It's just funny how transfers work. You just never know, do you? Pop saying players get beat in traded video. Yeah. Uh, When you look at how they've been playing, it almost looks like they've been running out of breath as well since like the 65th minute of games. You know, the fitness doesn't seem to be there. Mark Rucker for me is one where I thought at the start of the season he was just getting back into it because he wasn't playing so much for Bayern, but he's still kind of at the same fitness levels, isn't he? He's like he doesn't seem to be able to get to 90 minutes without looking really, really exhausted. So um, yeah, Lewis Haaland wasn't Prem proven. Yeah, a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are. So a lot of the best players in the Prem have never been Prem proven. But you know, it's what it is. Let me just get some more comments from Big Sam that we could go over. Yeah, mention the Bamford thing. Oh, let me just get my nose back up. Hold on a minute. Uh, okay. Okay, yeah, and you know, he did offer himself out when, well, pause, big pause on that. He did offer himself out to Leeds United when Jesse Marsh got sacked. That was well known anyway. I think I heard him speak about that on the on Talksport. I think. Asked whether this could be long term. If I stayed on, I wouldn't be in a relegation dogfight from the start personally. So yeah, there you go to recruitment, and then on Melier, um, if he's going to be number one, says it's obvious that Melier's made mistakes. Whether it's right for him, whether it's right for to keep him in and hope he gets back to what he can be, we'll wait and see. He'll make that decision on Friday, probably. So there you go. It's under consideration, isn't it? Crazy, brazy stuff, Philip. Nunes, you know, Nunes. Lord have mercy. Haaland's a legit machine. You know, it just tells you, doesn't it? You know, will he suit Man City? Does he suit Man City style of play? The guy's got, hey, listen. Yeah, Dashan, it had to be a big pause on that one. You know what I mean? Um, let's have a look. What else is there? What else is there? No, I mean that was basically it. And then of course the Pep Club comments that everyone has like rinsed to death. So there's no point me going over those. Yeah, Richard, this was something I was going to mention. Sounds like the leadership group is still in place. Yeah, one thing for certain for me next season is that if your leadership group is still your Liam Cooper, Patrick Bamford, Forshaw, and Ayling, it's a terrible leadership group. Doesn't matter how you want to word it, doesn't matter how. And I mentioned already this week in regards to that whole video gate, how good Liam Cooper is off the pitch, how much of a good captain he is off the pitch. If this is your leadership group in the Premier League, you're in trouble. There's no two ways about it, people. You need to have better players. And if Tyler Adams is still here if we stay up, I should say, he needs to be the first one up. Max Verber, you know, you need to have better players in your leadership group. How can you? I put it to you like this: how can you take advice from players that really and truly shouldn't be in the Premier League and say, "Oh, Willie Nonto could do this better," or Somerville could do this better, or Tyler Adams could maybe conduct himself like. How can you take advice off those players about players that are better than you? Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, he called it the committee, didn't he? I just feel like no, it's not that I feel. I know that if we still have the same leadership group next season, we're going to be right back up here where we are. It's as simple as that, people. You have to get better with the squad. That's why I made a point of when I said about Forshaw, Ayling, and Bamford sitting on the bench together in that game the other week. It's poor. Those three should be three different players of better quality to give us better options. That's why we are where we are, people. The squad makeup is terrible, and that committee, hey, need to see you guys at Cheltenham Town, Bristol Rovers, wherever you want to go, but it can't be at Leeds United. I hear you, Deshaun. I hear you. I hear you. Lewis is saying Big Sam gives me some confidence that I looked at the team sheet. Yeah, you know what? At least with Big Sam, Lewis, what I'll say what I'll say with that is that I said on the last video when he was appointed, I was expecting us to hold at least 8 versus City under Javi Gracia. and I think I was probably being generous with 8. At least with Sam, I feel I'll speak for myself. Not I only ever speak for myself. I feel like there's more of a chance that we can keep the score down, or even no, keep the score down. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all. It's as simple as that. Greg saying Tyler needs to be back in for the run in, injured or not. He's a big part of the team now, like Dallas last game. No, I mean Dallas again. We talk about that. There's again the revisionist history on Stuart Dallas has been a bit crazy for me to see, by the way, because he was as much to blame for last season as anybody, being poor week in week out, whether he was on the left, whether he was on the right. The whole tackle with Jack Grealish, which put him out as long as it has, he was bad. He was bad, and I like Stuart Dallas. He's one that I said that we should keep around just for his utility skills and have as a bench player. But he was poor last season. But absence makes the heart grow fonder. But yeah, Greg, in terms of Tyler, I mean, Javi Gracia did say that as well, that the injury to Tyler was a big reason why we are where we are, because there's no one else that can do what he did, which is what I said on here when everyone thought that Verb was going to be key. He was key. But Tyler, the work Tyler does, it's the work that doesn't get praised. It's the one where if he has a bad game, it's noticeable. But if he goes along his business, it's just your regular 6 or 7 out of 10. And it's been proven, isn't it? Tyler has been so missed, especially covering over for the right hand side. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. To G us up, Greg. Yeah. Dallas to G us up at the game as like a cheerleader. I got you. Okay. Matt here, nearly Cajun have that little nearly cagey having that little bit of belief. I know I was almost gonna say maybe get us a draw. I was almost gonna go there, Matt, but you know what? I held off. But what I'm saying though, he gives me more belief straight off the bat than Javi Gracia has done in the last month. Um David, if Sam gets clean sheets out of this lot, then he probably is better than Pep. Tremendous. Um, so yeah, I mean, and speaking of Man City, you know, they just played last night against West Ham. Let me just get a sip of drink. Hold on a second. They just played last night against West Ham, and West Ham actually defended pretty well. The fact that West Ham defended pretty well and still held 3, that tells you what Man City are about. And I've put in the title here, rest Haaland, please. And it doesn't really matter if they rest him because they've got other players like Alvarez or you know, or other players like that, like Mahrez, that can come in. But the fact is, when you play in Haaland, who broke the record last night, 35 league goals, doesn't matter how many games have been played, Andy Cole's record, Salah's record, it's done. He's got it now, 35 in a season. He's cash money. When he plays, he's pretty much guaranteed to score. He's like automatic now. It's as simple as that. That term inevitable got diluted to the fact that where everyone was inevitable. No, he is inevitable. So, and they've got a game against Real Madrid. But the thing for me is with Man City people is that they don't need to rest that many players because they always have the ball. If you watch Man City games all the time, they are in a position where they have the ball, so they use less energy. So that's why I still think Haaland might start this weekend. He might have 45 minutes, get his couple goals, and come off at half time. But they don't use as much energy as other teams. And it's funny, Gary Neville mentioned this. Where did he mention it? I don't remember where Gary Neville mentioned it. He mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. But he said about how if Man City to win the treble, it's different from Man United's treble. But one of the reasons is Manchester United was still having to come back and claw themselves out of games, whether it be in the Premier League and Champions League. Man City are pretty much in control of nearly every game they play. So they don't have to use that much energy. That's why I'm saying if we do see De Bruyne come back this weekend, don't be surprised. If you see Haaland starting, don't be surprised. But then you've got other players as well. General John Stones, you know, General Stones, man, quality defender. And I hope that the more thing with John Stones is his injury worries. So if he's, you know, they want to save him from Madrid, he may not start, and that's a bit better. You know, they still got Ruben Diaz. Nathan Ake's been brilliant for them this season, but John Stones for me is one of the best defenders around. Love John Stones, think he's quality. It's tough, baby. It's tough. It's tough, people. But yeah, Haaland, if he doesn't start, it will be Alvarez. So hey, hey. Um, Darren Wong here. I think the way to play them is dirty and rough. Oh, hey, buddy. Okay, I hear you. I hear you, man. We'll pause on that one too. But yeah, you're gonna have to get into them. But the thing is, that's hard, Darren, because if you were to press Man City, we tried that once before and we held 7. Remember that one? You just have to do what West Ham did last night and try and contain them. Try your best and contain them. And that was West Ham without Declan Rice, by the way. But whichever way you're looking at it, it's an uphill task, especially for us in our form. Man City are just purring at the minute. They're winning every game, and it's been convincing as well. Even their 2-1 win against Fulham, they were under no real threat of losing that game. So I mean, NJ here is saying again, he thinks that man marking is the way. West Ham last night didn't get close to their midfielders and when in possession had no support. If we can get tighter, go man for man, almost Bielsa style, we can stand up to him. You go man for man, NJ, versus Man City, you're just asking to get cut open. They can already cut you open when you sit back in blocks. Go man for man, see how those gaps get exploited. Terrible idea. If we had better players, NJ, I would be with you. But no, not with this current team. We don't even have Tyler Adams out there. We don't even have Tyler Adams. No, thanks. No thanks. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We don't know anything about Big Sam's selection, so we'll see how he sets up. Acton Dave, and we're going to get into score predictions now in just a moment. Please hit a like on the videos. Philip here says over 299 of you here. Please hit the like. Best way to support the channel, and it is much appreciated. Acton Dave is saying that's true, Cage. Look at Arsenal clawing back games this season. I can't remember City doing that. Yeah, and if they've done it, it's been a one-off. But you mentioned Arsenal, Southampton, West Ham. They're really having to work for their victories, much like the treble-winning team of Man United in '99, Juventus, Barcelona. I mean, even their final, Bayern Munich. They've had to claw back. Man City, it's just automatic. They're just rolling. So yeah, tough task this weekend. I don't think anyone's gonna hold it against us if we do take a pummeling. I think it's to be expected, but yeah. Pops here saying he's hoping to see a bit of a shake-up. We'll see, Pops. We'll see because if anyone's going to look at defense and see which is the best to go forward in these kind of games, it's Big Sam. He'll have the best ideas of who to play, how many to play as well, how many defenders we need. And of course, the goalkeeper's undecided too. So we'll see what he comes up with. It's going to be very, very interesting. Are different players going to get games? We're obviously going to see Nanto because Nanto is somebody that he spoke about when he wasn't Leeds manager, saying, how is this guy not playing for Leeds United? So we're obviously going to see Nanto. And we'll see who else gets shots. Will Jack Harrison get another lift? What's going to happen there? Somerville, is he going to play? Nobody knows. Rucker, McKennie, JB. Which of our midfield options are we going to go forward? For sure. But yeah, we'll see. And big shout out to Marie Michelle. Good morning, KG from Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah, man, worldwide, baby. Morning, noon, night. Shout out to wherever you are in the world. We all love Nanto Just. I love him too. Lewis saying, let Big Sam cook. We'll see Saturday. So yeah, let's get into score predictions, people. The live match reaction link is in the description as well. If you want to set your reminder for that, just click on that, like the video, press the bell and set the reminder, and you can join me live and we'll talk it through then. Deshaun here saying 3-0 loss, feeling optimistic. Dillip is saying he had an 8-1 win for City, but now Big Sam 6-1. I hear you. Liam is saying Leeds 1, City 4. That would be a good result. Yeah, and I mean, it's important to note as well, we do need to keep the score down just for goal difference purposes. That's vitally important. So if we do lose this Saturday, keep the score as low as possible because that will almost be an extra point. Matt is saying 5-0 City. David Easton's going for a... David, if this happens, David, I hope you put some money on it because you'll be a very, very rich man. Very, very rich, man. Karen saying 5-1 City win. Dave Powell's going 5-0 City. Ricky's going 1-1. Whoa. Scott Lightning is going, I thought 10-0, but with Big Sam in charge 6-0. You see, the thing is, I actually get what people are talking about here. I absolutely 100% understand. It sounds defeatist. It's not a free hit. It's just reality, isn't it? And if we are to get a positive result, awesome. It would be like a bonus point at this stage. Justice saying 1-1. Yeah, 6-1. Okay, so here we've got these kind of results. Yeah, Nick's going for a 2-2 though. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 5-0 Man City. I don't think we've had enough time with Big Sam to stop that kind of a beat down. And even going with better teams than us who have set up defensively have still let 3 slip through the cracks. I still think that this team may still be vulnerable, and it will be 5-0. And then we move on to the next one. If they can do any better, excellent, excellent, excellent. But I think it's going to be 5-0. Because even on the chance here, I mean, there's let me just get this comment up. Darren here. I think the tactics is to play off the balls that bounce off Bamford when he's when he's holding it up. Okay, I thought you was going somewhere different there, Darren. I thought you was going to say with Bamford holding it up. I only read a part of it. But you're right, yeah. The ball has been bouncing off him. Let's not escape that fact. But I think that is part of the plan, Darren, here in terms of if we do happen to get the ball up and counter with our pace that we do have in attack. Let's not forget we do have a lot of pace in attack. That's the only way we can get at them. Ederson, for me, if Man City do have a weak link, it's Ederson, because I think as good as he is with his feet, shot stopping, he's not the greatest. So if you can get shots on target, you've got a bit of a chance. But it's easier said than done, isn't it, against Man City? Easier said than done. David saying Big Sam getting 4 draws in a row, 34 points. Yeah, I've heard people say, and somebody asked earlier, I think it was Shane, would I take 4 0-0 draws? Yeah, however we get the 4 points, I'm cool with. As long as we stay up, I don't care. I honestly do not care. Just stay up, please. Please, please, please. Like we said, this is the last roll of the dice. This is it now. 4 games to save our Premier League status. Got to do it. But yeah, I mean, Josh, we will be playing on the counter. That's the only way that we can do it. We're not going to be getting possession. We're not going to be possession heavy against Man City. We can barely be possession heavy against teams around us. So it's not going to happen against Man City. Just got to do our best. See what Big Sam can do. But listen, people, that's the preview. I will see you all Saturday, and we'll talk through it together. Once again, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and drop your comments, score predictions below. And yeah, big up for all the support lately. Honestly, big up for all the support. It's been phenomenal over the last month, especially. It seems like we really are in this all together. Let's see. Just before I go, SB, are Alien Christian going to start Grealish? No. Lord Jack Grealish is on another planet. The thing is, for me, and I'll maintain it just before I go, Jack Grealish's numbers last season didn't deter me from seeing what a good player he is. It was just that he was fitting himself into the Pep system. Now you're seeing what Jack Grealish is all about. He's effective again. He's almost doing those runs like he used to do for Villa, where he's picking it up and carrying it forward. Quality player. The price tag got people's minds all messed up saying that he's no good. Great player, man. Great player. But listen, people, leave it there. See you Saturday, people. Love.